Welcome to the Block Reel Film Industry Podcast, your daily source for cinematography insights, production strategies, and the latest from the independent film world.
It's good to be back.
Yeah, it is. And today it's a big one for us here at Block Reel.
Yeah.
We're not just reacting to news.
No.
We are walking you through our own massive new release from the editorial team. We're finally pulling back the curtain on the complete guide to documentary filmmaking in 2026.
This was a huge undertaking for the whole team. And, reading through that final draft, it really hit me just how much has changed. This isn't just a simple update.
Not at all. It feels like the ground has shifted tectonically.
Right.
If you're a filmmaker listening, whether you're a DP, a director, producer, whatever, and you're planning a doc this year, you're dealing with, this dynamic blend of traditional storytelling, cutting-edge AI, and maybe most importantly, this massive shift in ethical consciousness.
It's a whole different ballgame. I think back to how we used to work, even 5 years ago. It was very much grab a camera and go, right. Find a subject, hop in a van, and you sort of figure out the story in the edit. But putting this guide together, it became so clear that in 2026, that whole method is, well, it's dangerous.
It's risky. Financially, legally.
Exactly. It's not just about pointing a camera anymore. You're navigating things like reflexive, pre-vis. You have to comply with the EU AI Act, which is a beast, by the way.
Oh, it was huge.
And if you're not recording spatial audio, you're not getting on the big streaming platforms. You're basically undistributable from the get-go.
It's a lot, for sure. But that's why we wrote the guide. We're going to walk you through it insider to insider. We'll cover everything from AI-driven pre-production and funding right down to specific gear.
The fun stuff.
Yes, we are going to talk about the Osmo Pocket 4 and all the heavy legal compliance you absolutely need to know.
All right, let's jump in.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Pre-production. In the guide, we call this section the new blueprint.
Okay.
Because, traditionally, pre-pro and docs was pretty minimal, right?
Oh, yeah. You had a subject, maybe a loose outline. But when you look at the successful projects from the last, say, 18 months, that has completely changed.
So what's the big shift?
The big shift is that pre-production is now almost entirely data-driven. The whole sketch on a napkin idea, those days are gone.
Or at least they're gone if you want somebody to give you money.
Which is usually the point, yeah. It's all about thesis-driven story arcs now. We're seeing filmmakers do this rigorous testing before a single reel frame is even shot. The market is just too crowded to guess anymore.
You have to know the story works before you burn the cash.
Exactly.
And the tool that's really making this possible, and I will admit, I've been playing with it nonstop since the beta dropped, is OpenAI's Sora 2.
Oh, it's a total game changer.
It really is. We talk about this concept of reflexive pre-vis in the guide. For anyone listening who hasn't used it, it's basically you're using Sora 2 to generate these synthetic video clips, and the physics are unbelievably realistic.
And you're not using this footage in the final film. This is key. It's for testing. It's like storyboarding, but with actual motion and, well, emotion.
Right. You can type in, subject walks down a crowded Mumbai street, low-angle tracking shot, claustrophobic mood.
And Sora 2 just generates it. You watch it back and maybe you realize, you know what? That low angle feels too aggressive. So you change the prompt, high-angle drone shot, problem solved, and you haven't bought a plane ticket.
That's the key. You're not burning budget on a bad idea. But there's a deeper level to this we found while researching, the ethical simulation.
This is fascinating. We're seeing this trend where filmmakers put a digital stand-in for themselves into a Sora 2 scene.
To see what it feels like to be the subject.
Exactly. You're testing the ethical implications before you even show up. You generate a scene where a subject is being asked about a trauma, and if you feel uncomfortable just watching the synthetic version, you need to change your approach with the real person.
It's empathy through simulation.
Wow. It forces you to confront your own visual language.
And from a producer's perspective, this saves a fortune. We broke it down in the guide. You should be allocating, 20–30% of your total budget to pre-pro now?
Which sounds high.
It sounds high, but think about it. Research travel used to be $5–15,000 just for a scout. These AI tools are like $20 to $50 a month.
It frees up so much capital for the actual production, and it's faster. We're seeing a 40% decrease in just the ideation time.
Which matters.
Yeah.
Because the market is shifting towards those public interest documentaries, right? The Shorenstein Center DFPI model.
Yeah, the documentary film public interest model. Funders want docs that drive policy change now, not just entertainment. They want measurable impact.
So you got your blueprint, now you need substance.
Yeah.
Section 2, research and sourcing. This is where we say human intuition meets the machine.
The hybrid approach.
Right. Use AI to scan the archives, but you need that human verification. We highlighted one tool, Google DeepMind ArchiveAI 2026. I think this is going to save people thousands of hours.
It's poised to be revolutionary. It does instant cross-referencing across totally separate archives. I mean, work that took a researcher weeks of digging through dusty boxes. Archive AI does it in seconds.
So say you're doing a doc on water rights in California in the 70s.
Okay.
The old way, you're flying to Sacramento, you're on microfiche.
Right.
Now you just feed the parameters into Archive AI. It scans digitized newspapers, court records, video archives.
And it connects the dots. It finds that the guy on the waterboard in 1974 is the same guy who sold the land in 1978.
It's a research superpower. But, and this is a huge but, we have to talk about the ethical check. Because AI lies.
It hallucinates. We can't sugarcoat this. An AI is a pattern completion engine, not a truth engine.
Right.
If it thinks a fake fact makes the pattern look better, it will just invent one. And if that gets in your film, your credibility is shot. Career over.
So in the guide, we laid out a very strict rule. This is the block reel standard now.
You must cross-reference any AI output with at least 3 primary sources.
3. That's the golden rule.
It has to be. Treat the AI like a tipster, not a journalist.
And beyond just facts, there's the human side. We recommend creating an ethical dossier for your key subjects. Can you explain that?
Yeah, and this is a document that's really for you, the filmmaker. It details their motivations, their vulnerabilities, their boundaries. It's a moral compass. Why are they doing this? What do they have to lose? If this film goes viral, are they safe?
It forces you to think about the human cost. And legally, you have to be careful too, right? With GDPR 2026.
Absolutely. If you're processing data about someone using AI running their social media through a sentiment analysis, for instance, you need explicit consent for that.
So I can't just run a background check with an AI bot on a potential subject without them knowing.
Absolutely not. You have to disclose that AI is part of your research method. That's non-negotiable.
Okay, speaking of money, let's move to Section 3. Funding. We're calling it the AI dividend.
Because it's really paying off. Studios are reporting 30% cost cuts using AI in VFX and archival research. That's money that stays in the budget.
And for indies, there are tools like Seed and Spark 2026 with its AI optimizer.
Which is brilliant for forecasting. It looks at historical data and tells you if your budget is realistic. It'll say, hey, you've under-budgeted for catering by 15% for a shoot this size.
That's incredible. And we're also seeing new revenue streams like NFT fractional ownership. I know, NFT can be a dirty word.
It's more mature now, though. It's not about cartoon apes. It lets your audience own a piece of the film's back end. They become investors. But I think the bigger thing is the impact bonus we found.
This goes back to transparency.
Exactly. There's a 25% increase in grant availability for what they're calling AI transparent impact docs. Funders want to see you're using AI, but they reward you for disclosing it.
So transparency literally pays.
It does. But there's a trap. The hidden compute fees.
The fine print.
People forget this. You might budget $50 a month for your Sora 2 subscription, but if you're doing heavy-duty rendering, you are paying for compute time by the minute. It's like data overage.
And that can add up fast.
It will blow your budget. We recommend adding a 20% contingency just for compute costs.
All right, let's get to the toys. Section 4. Gear and shooting. The 2026 kit.
A hybrid rig.
I am completely obsessed with the discrete workhorse we feature in the guide. The DJI Osmo Pocket 4.
The tech is just incredible.
It's 8K, fully stabilized, and it fits in your palm. We're seeing filmmakers mount these on subjects. It's so unobtrusive.
And that's key for intimacy, isn't it? A big camera changes how people behave. You put an Osmo Pocket on the table and they forget it's there.
But for that polished Netflix look, you're still going for the Sony FX3 II.
Right. Pair that with some nice anamorphic glass and you have your ACAM cinematic look.
And for establishing shots, the DJI Avata 3, it's so much easier to fly now that the regulations eased up.
Yeah, the automated geofencing helps a lot. But hold on, I have to interrupt the camera talk for a second to stress the most important part.
Go for it.
Audio.
Audio is king.
Always. But now it's that spatial audio is non-negotiable.
Why is that so critical now?
It's because of headsets. People are watching on Apple Vision Pro, Meta Orion. If your dock is on one of those platforms and the sound is just flat stereo, it completely breaks the immersion.
So what's the go-to gear for that?
We're recommending the Rode Wireless Pro 2026, mostly for its insane AI noise cancellation, and the Sennheiser Profile 2026 Labs. They capture that full 360-degree soundscape.
And we can't forget virtual production for reenactments, using Unreal Engine 6 on an LED wall.
Right. Instead of an expensive location shoot, you can have golden hour for 12 hours straight if you want. Total control.
Okay, so we're in the room with our subject, Section 5. Interviews and interaction, ethics and action.
This is where it gets real.
We describe a technique in the guide called participatory questioning. What is that exactly?
It's moving away from the interviewer as interrogator model. You're not trying to get a gotcha moment. You're making the subject a collaborator in building the narrative.
So you might even show them questions beforehand. That used to be a huge no-no.
Exactly. And for remote interviews, we're seeing the use of the Zoom AI Companion 2026. But this one, it's a bit controversial.
Yeah, this one makes me a little nervous. It analyzes sentiment in real time.
It reads microexpressions, tone of voice, so your dashboard might flash stressed or defensive. The idea is it helps the interviewer gauge comfort levels. If the AI flags stress, you know to back off.
I don't know, that feels invasive.
It is invasive if you don't disclose it, but used correctly, it can be an empathy tool. It stops you from pushing someone too far.
Okay, here's a tip from the guide I love that's much more analog. The off-camera trust mic.
Yes. This is a mic placed near the interviewer, not the subject. It just captures the small talk, the rapport building before you officially start.
And you might not use that audio, but listening to it informs the edit, reminds you of the human connection.
But speaking of that connection, we have to talk about the major legal shift, the right of rescission.
Oh boy, editors are not happy about this one.
No, but it's essential for ethics. New release forms are including a clause giving subjects 24 to 48 hours to retract a statement after the interview.
So you could build a whole scene around a perfect quote, and then 2 days later they call and say, I want that out.
It complicates the edit, no doubt, but think about it from the other side. It builds immense trust. If a subject knows they have that safety net, they're more likely to open up in the first place.
So you get better material, even if you risk losing some of it.
That's the trade-off. The net gain in honesty is worth the headache.
That's a great point. Okay, we have the footage. We're in the edit bay. Section 6, post-production and compliance.
The final hurdles.
The new workflow is this AI-first rough cut,
Right.
right? Using something like DaVinci Resolve 20.
Yeah, it just takes the drudgery out of it. It detects continuity, matches shots, groups your B-roll by semantic meaning. It saves days of just organizing bins.
And if you're missing B-roll, we're back to Sora 2 or Runway Gen 3 2026 for generative fill.
Right. You need a shot of a hand turning a doorknob to bridge two scenes. You don't reshoot, you generate it.
But, and this is the big compliance wall,
The legal side is getting very serious.
the EU AI Act 2026.
It's strict. You must watermark AI-generated footage. If the audience is looking at something synthetic that impacts the story, they have to know.
Even if it's just a doorknob.
Well, technically yes, but it's really about editorial impact. If you generate a bigger crowd for a protest to make it look more dramatic, that's fraud. You have to watermark it.
And to manage all this, we found the Aureate AI Compliance Suite 2026.
It's automated auditing. It creates a metadata trail, a chain of custody for every clip, tracks consent. It's essential insurance. Legal review costs, $5,000 to $20,000. This streamlines it.
Okay, finally. Let's get this film scene. Section 7. Distribution and impact.
The hybrid release model is king. Festivals plus direct-to-streaming.
And the tools are smarter. Vimeo OTT 2026 has AI-driven SEO optimization. TubeBuddy 2026 for YouTube analytics.
But the marketing strategy is where it gets really interesting. People are using Sora 2 to generate different versions of their trailer for different social media algorithms.
That blew my mind.
It boosts engagement by 50%. You get a fast vertical cut for TikTok and a slower, more narrative one for YouTube, all generated from your source material.
So what's the end goal? How do we even measure success now?
It is not about the view count anymore. That's a vanity metric. We really insist in the guide on using the DFPI metrics. Define your impact goals early.
So it's about societal change.
Right. Did your film move the needle? Did legislation change? Did donations to the cause go up? That's the new success.
It really is a whole new world. The tools, the AI, the 8K POV cams, they make the technical parts easier in a way.
They do. But the responsibility is so much heavier. Transparency, ethics, that's the price of admission now. You have more power as a filmmaker than ever before, but you have to use it with more care.
That wraps today's episode. For the complete guide with detailed breakdowns and templates, visit our blog at lockreeldow.com/blog. Subscribe to our channel for daily episodes covering cinematography, VFX, color grading, and production design. Thanks for listening, and keep creating.